There was things that Andrew Tate couldn't say in his most recent interview with the BBC because of legal reasons. He couldn't say it, but I will. Let's go.
We are doing an interview with you because you're facing some very serious allegations.
Correct.
Rape, human trafficking.
Yep.
And also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on young people, on women.
I don't think the concern's about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have. I would argue that a lot of the things that are already out there inside of the legacy media and the matrix as a whole are far more damaging than the things I say.
It's the concern about the influence you have being a harmful influence, but let's start with the allegations.
Not necessarily a harmful influence. The fact that I'm massively influential over the youth, and I understand that, but it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for money?
Absolutely not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
Now, that last question that she asked him, that is probably the only one that he legitimately did. But the thing about that is, that's not illegal. It's not illegal or against the law to be manipulative in your pursuit to try to get somebody to do a legal job that they got paid for. Managing, owning, and operating a webcam is not illegal. The women who went on those webcams and did whatever they did and got paid for it, not illegal. Those aren't illegal things. So at most, you can say he's a jerk, but not against the law to be a jerk.
Firstly, let's begin let's start at the beginning. I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one's already been thrown out by a judge because there's no evidence of it. Secondly, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have a very frank and honest conversation with you while we're in the territory of Romania about a legal case that's going on within Romania. I have to protect myself. I've agreed to do an interview with you, and I want to be as honest with you as possible, but I can't incriminate myself in any way, and I have to be very careful with what I talk about.
There are no charges yet.
Correct, there are no charges.
There are no charges,
and I've agreed to speak to you, but I have to be as honest and frank as I can while also protecting myself and following my legal counsel.
So let's talk about what you've said yourself then.
Okay, that was another brilliant and tactical move by Andrew Tate. When she tried to slip in there were no charges yet. He cut her off and said, there were no charges. There were no charges yet. No. There were no charges. I like that he did that. That's what was kind of missing in that first interview with Piers Morgan. I'm glad that he did that. I'm glad that he's nipping that right in the bud.
On the website, for your original website for the Hustlers University, that you emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with you so that you could get them working in the sex industry for your financial gain.
As I said, I have to be very careful with what I say, but let's put it this way. No women are coming out against me and accusing me of doing it.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Who?
There's testimony from the current investigation.
The current investigation, which I cannot discuss, which I know intimately and you don't, I can tell you right now that the women who are in this case file, there are 2 American women who have been caught already admitting they're lying, and then nobody else is accusing me of anything.
Okay, now that was another important thing, because a lot of the evidence and witnesses that have come out, Andrew Tate already alluded to how a lot of them have been debunked and disproven. The thing that they're really grounding this thing on is that he emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with him in order to get them to basically work for him in a legal webcam business. So if he would have said, with no manipulation at all, say, hey, I'm running a webcam business. Would you like to be one of my employees? You get paid this much. And she says, yes. Therefore, he hasn't broken the law. That's not sex trafficking. However, if in the process of doing that, if he says, please, baby, please, I love you and I want to be with you. I want you to be with me and all 20 of these other women you see around me. Please, I love you. Do you love me? Let's love each other. Okay, get on. Let's do this webcam business now. Their argument is essentially saying that because he threw the language of love into the conversation with the person who was doing a legal work on a webcam that happens every day on OnlyFans, that makes it go from two people doing legal business with each other to full-blown trafficking. That's essentially their argument. The rest of the interview is just her bringing up quotes or something that he said on Fresh and Fit and trying to get him to stand by some statement that he made. It was really no meat on the bones after that. And their whole argument essentially amounts to, but you told them you loved them to get them to do it. That's not an argument. That's not a case. But that's what they're hedging all of this on. And witnesses that have been disproven, as well as a witness is another part in the video. I'm not going to play this part, but there was another part in it where the girl who they interviewed on Vice, he said she doesn't exist, made up name, made up person. He's practically saying she was an actor. That part can't be proven, but that's what Andrew Tate is alleging. Other than that, it's really nothing. It's really nothing. The questions that she asked was more or less gotcha question for something that you said for shock value in a YouTube short reel video. That's what it amounts to. And he basically exposed and showed and made the point very well that the influence that he's having on the modern social norms is more or less the biggest reason why it's a target on his back. The status quo want to push everything as further to the woke, egalitarian, left side of things. He's a counterbalance, pushing in the other way and influencing basically a generation of young men to move in that way and operate that way and think a different way from what we're, the mainstream is trying to push everything. And that's more or less what it came down to, because everything that she was saying was more or less a bunch of gotcha questions. Just a bunch of gotcha questions. And it amounted to nothing. But that's my brief analysis on that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. Peace. We gone.